Hey!
Epa!
Hey, Kelly's out today, so we're
I know.
trying to get our act together. You know how little we do when we can hardly get this going on time.
Mm-hmm.
Family, it is Follow Up Friday on Brian and Janelle Overtime.
Oh, yes.
We're going to get to that here in just a second. Quick reminder, brand new podcast episode comes out in less than an hour at 10 o'clock. The episode this week is called The Secret to Unifying Vastly Different People. It talks about a local ministry that has internationally been asked, how do you keep people unified who are so different?
Yeah.
And the answer is like almost stupid simple,
Yeah.
but biblically profound. Okay, so you want to check this out.
It's
a quick
really
listen.
good. Yeah, it is a quick one. And then you'll have the other episodes you can listen to.
So Follow Up Friday, let's quick go over what we covered on this show. On our live show, what we like to do is Follow Up Friday, which is let's go over what we talked about this week and then hand the show over to you and say, what do you want to talk about? It doesn't have to be that stuff, but it could be something totally different. But we yield to you. So you're going to have to jump in here live, make comments, share it, whatever. Make click the angry face when she says stuff. You know.
No. Not me.
So on Monday, our overtime was a 100th episode celebration. Hey, good morning, Mike, Tim, Deborah, Callie.
Tim, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, good. Sheila, Rod, we celebrated 100 episodes. Thank you for making that possible. Tuesday overtime, we discussed the proposed law at the state level to make school so it starts no earlier than 8:30 a.m. And a lot of you had thoughts on that. Wednesday, we talked about, on overtime, we talked about Google Maps and whether or not we ought to use their new feature where you can find and report speed traps from the police. And then yesterday, we talked about how more than half of kids in Cleveland live below the poverty level, which is just depressing. But we had, I think, a really productive discussion on that. So, you know, it always feels a little risky, but what do you want to talk about now? This is yours. It's your Follow-Up Friday.
Yes, lots of topics covered this week. Trish says, hello. I really wanted to hear Michael Rydelnik's thoughts on John MacArthur and Beth Moore's situation, but I missed it. Can you recap?
Get us, Trish, do this for me. If you send us a private message or you email us, we can get you some follow-up information on that, okay?
Yes.
440, I almost said the number.
You can email Brian and Janelle at moody.edu.
And we got something, Mike said something and he had an autocorrect that I love. Autocorrect makes me laugh so much.
Bumblebee, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering. I thought it was one of those other words that I didn't know what it meant. So
Scroll up a little bit. Mike said, I want to thank you for your transparency, honesty, and bumblebees in conversations. You are encouraging to us all. You're welcome. It reminds me of a good autocorrect story with Sarah. I think I told you this one.
Well,
I was like, you know, you type in quick and you hit send,
Mm-hmm.
and autocorrect, if you're not careful, will change a word for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was writing early on in my, like, with the phone when it was learning me, like, love you hottie to my wife. You know, I don't use that phrase a lot, but it's my wife. I'm like, hey, see you hottie, or love you hottie, or something like that. It didn't, like, hottie is not a real word. So as I was hitting send, it auto-corrected to Biggie.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
So I texted my wife.
Oh my gosh.
Love you, Biggie. And then I'm like, you know, the panic where you're like, that's not what I meant. I can't take that back. It auto-corrected hottie to Biggie.
Did she just laugh or was
she laughed at me. She knows I would never say something like that.
That is so funny. Callie says, funny story about Wednesday morning's topic. My husband ended up getting a speeding ticket, and I was thinking about downloading the app that was talked about.
He got a speeding ticket? Wow, yeah. What was he thinking, Callie? You should have downloaded the app.
Sheila says, Dunkin' coffee is where it's at.
Look at
That's
you again.
right. Dunkin', nobody like Dunkin' Donuts. That's the truth.
For the record, Janelle, when she goes to Dunkin', never gets me one.
No, never. And
she's happy about it.
You're not even into coffee, right?
I actually am, but we both know I'm not buying you anything either, so.
Yvonne says, good morning. Janelle, you look beautiful in black. Thank you. She says, have a safe and blessed trip to Chicago. Let the Lord use you. I like the vulnerability of you both apologizing to each other, which makes relationships stronger and authentic. Yeah, Brian, there was like a 30-minute segment this morning.
It's kind of a big apology festival. So
yeah,
we had a listener. If you missed it on our live show, somebody was justifiably upset with me because Janelle and I got heated in something. Not in like a, we weren't calling each other names.
We were very passionate.
Yeah, and it sounded like I was being too aggressive with Janelle, which would never be how I wanted to sound. So I read on the air this listener's upset email, and again, they were justified, and I apologized to them. I read my apology, and that got us talking about some things. But for those who missed that, what Yvonne's talking about is Janelle is going to Chicago this weekend.
Yes.
You were invited to do something big time.
Yeah, so I'm going to be part of the Me Too, #MeToo panel at Men's Conference in Chicago. So I'll be joining President Mark Jobe and Dr. Ed Stetzer and some others.
You are so big time.
Aw, it's because I'm hanging with you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I'm excited. And best of all, I get to bring Len. My son was excited because he was like, wow, but I've gone to him with him on business trips. So he just gets to like hang and not do anything.
Oh, that's right. No,
Isn't
but
that cool?
you can also be like, when Len's like, hey, honey, let's go. Be like, excuse me, Len, I'm working.
That's
I know you're just
right.
along for the ride,
That's
soaking
right.
it all in with all this stuff.
I want
I'm
to
working.
walk around campus and have my pass and have him walk up to doors and be like, hold on, I'll get you into this one.
That's right. You need to do that.
I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And for our 25th anniversary, 20th, where am I going?
Whoa.
20th was in August, and we wanted to do something big, and so we thought finances instead. And so I said, you know what, let me make this kind of like a anniversary little trip. So it should be fun. Mike says, Brian, is it pumpkin spice season for you yet?
Yeah, sure. I don't remember. I think it was in August they were released, and I was personally offended in an awkward way by that. But once fall officially hits,
Oh my gosh. You set this rule. Enjoy things. Like, you don't get away
hey,
from fall.
to be honest, Mike stopped by the studio a while ago, and he gave us some pumpkin spice creamer for coffee. I had some, like, was it yesterday or the day before? It was very good.
Oh, yeah.
But it's only good in the fall.
Okay. All right. That's great, Brian. Callie says, so moral of the story will be, she will be downloading the app. She enjoys the rawness between us. Each person's open to their own opinions, and that makes for good radio.
Oh, thanks.
And so as she's saying that she's going to download the app, part of that discussion was, should we use it? Waze is awesome, Callie. Download
I can't bring myself
Waze.
to do that.
Waze is amazing.
Do you use it more than Google Maps?
What's really annoying, because I have an Android app, Google Maps comes up more automatically. So I have to like set it so that Waze is the one that's used as default. Waze is awesome. It's really good because it gives you, it's a lot more user interactive. It gives you information in terms of traffic and obstructions on the road, and of course police, law enforcement. But my favorite is when I set my final destination. As I'm going, I can say any coffee stops en route or food en route without getting out of the directions. It's really cool. And somebody pointed out about Waze that it is owned by the same company, Google Maps and Waze.
Well, they
Google
bought it.
owns. Yeah, that's what I've told my kids as we've talked about this with them. I'm like, that's what you do. You set up your own company, and then you just buy out your competition.
And then you
It's
retire
in Google.
young.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
buy your mama a house or something, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
exactly where I'm going. Tim says Waze is the best. Betty, great transparency this morning, both of you.
Thank you, Betty. It's super sweet of you. I've been using Apple Maps lately. As
How do
weird
you
as
like that?
sounds. It's not as good as the rest of them, but here's, like, I'm so bad at directions. So bad.
Yeah.
That when it'll say, like, turn right in 1,000 feet, I panic. I don't know what 1,000 feet is. Is that right here? Is that up there? Like, I can't. It's so bad. So my wife for my 40th birthday got me an Apple Watch.
Yes.
And there's this feature where when you use Apple Maps, it connects the directions to your watch, and it actually like vibrates and makes a sound
Oh, nice.
when you're supposed to like turn like right now. And so I can go, oh, okay, here we go.
That's
But that's how much hand-holding I need.
Kathy says tickets are expensive. My ticket was downgraded for no history of previous. What is that? Don't get
Still
tickets.
100? Oh, wow.
No wise use of money. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, the traffic ticket second. Callie says MapQuest is still around because Mike, Brian, says MapQuest.
I know. I'll say that. They're like, Sarah, we should use MapQuest to find out where we're going. It should be like, Brian, MapQuest? Is it 1998?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Eva, I'm with you, Brian. Wow.
I'm
Len
terrible.
is trying to train. I'm very good with directions. Len's very good with directions. And he's trying to make sure his boys are good with directions. So he's practicing driving with Isaiah. And they go out far. And Isaiah's like, okay, now we're going to turn around. And he's like, okay, so what do I do? And Len's like, you figure it out.
You're
Where's
driving?
north? And he'll just let him kind of figure it out and navigate. I'm like, oh my gosh. I hope that's not like a thing you're born with. I'm like, if he's not good at directions, he's going to get all messed up.
Well, see, that's why we got Google Maps or whatever. But the one that drives me nuts is when my 5-year-old tries to give me advice on driving and directions.
Yes.
Does Nia do that to you?
Nia does that.
Teddy does it to me.
Oh my
You're like, Dad,
gosh.
I think we're supposed to turn there. Excuse me, you're 5. You can't read or tell time. I know you don't know more than me about driving.
She tells me about the lights. Mom, you gotta go. Or she'll be like, where are we going? All the way from the back seat.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're
girl,
5.
You'll
find out when I take you there. Why does that drive us so nuts?
I don't. Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Kathy says Waze alerted to roadkill. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Waze is cool. Yeah.
It said, watch out for roadkill?
Can somebody explain to me the user? Like, I'm benefiting from whatever people are putting in there. I don't get, like, first of all, what do you get for contributing? And how do you put in the information? I don't understand it. So if there's a quick way, just let me, like, explain
Yeah,
it
I'm not
to
about
me.
to go put anything in there, but
Yeah,
I'm going to use it all day long.
Thank you.
I'm a taker. Because you're a taker.
Oh my goodness. Eva says that's why I don't have my GPS. I only go where I know.
Yeah.
That's funny, Eva. That's Brian all day long.
Yeah,
Really, Brian?
yeah.
Callie says backseat drivers in training.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they are.
Like, but the funny thing is, it's the little ones. It's
Yeah,
not my
because the older ones
7-year-old.
wouldn't do that.
No.
When they were little, they just sat there and went. That's true.
They're just like, I'm getting in the, we're going somewhere? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Teddy is like trying to tell me where to go. He's like, you know, how long till we get there? I'm like, you can't tell time. I could say 20 minutes. You don't even know what that means.
Yes.
The kid's still trying to figure out what tomorrow means.
Yeah.
Ah,
Deborah says there's a big dot at the bottom right corner. Hit it, and it brings up options.
huh.
Do you get something for it? Like, why? I am
Yeah,
too
Deborah,
busy.
do you get like a, you don't get money, but you get like a star if you
And
contribute?
there's times that I'm driving and something goes. "Doo-doo-doo." So it's like you're racking up points. I don't understand.
That sounds like your Dominican turkey, by the way.
My turkey is awesome. Se llama pavo. It's pavo.
You've named your turkey Pavo?
That's how you say turkey in
Oh.
Spanish. Sheila says my kids tell me to watch out for cars.
Yeah, thank you,
Oh,
kids.
goodness.
Thank you. I'll watch out for the cars. Or Teddy gets frustrated when we're like 6 cars back.
Yeah.
The light turns green, he can see it, and he's like, go, Dad.
Yeah.
Go.
Yes.
Why aren't you going, Dad? I'm like, well, son, because there's a car in front of me that hasn't gone yet.
Yeah. Look what Rob is noticing. The camera angles. Is Ron doing that?
Oh, wow. Okay, Robert.
Y'all gonna be proud of Brian. Watch this.
Well, no, I'm not doing it.
You didn't? No. But you set it up.
Yeah, so, Robert, here's the crazy part. So we got this camera we use for overtime. And you know how when you buy something fancy, like back when digital cameras were a big thing, right? You buy this camera, but all you'd ever do with it is point and click.
Yeah.
You could have all these settings in there. You don't even explore the settings.
Mhm.
Well, the camera we use for doing this has a whole bunch of features in it. And one day, finally, last week, I sat down with our supervisor, Josh, our station manager,
Yeah.
and we started looking at all the settings. And there's one that it actually automatically does this. Like you can push a few buttons, and suddenly it's going to automatically do all the smart stuff, pick up camera angles and zoom in and move. It does it all by itself. We just sit here.
Oh, that's cool. Guys, Mama Dolan is commenting.
Okay, here
She
we
says,
go.
Brian, when you started driving, you didn't know how to get to places that we went to all the time, like
Oh, no. In fact, one of her favorite stories.
That is hilarious.
One of my mom's favorite stories was there was a day when I was going somewhere to meet. I was in a little band in high school. We were going to go play somewhere, and it was kind of like an hour and a half away, 2 hours away. And so my dad told me, he said, Brian, you get on, let's just say, County Road 22. It's a straight shot all the way there. So in my mind, what that meant is get on Highway 22 and go straight.
Right.
Well, if you've ever been like in rural areas, sometimes Highway 22, when you get to a little town, takes a left turn
Yes.
and then takes a right turn. You got to follow the signs.
Right.
I was told it's a straight shot.
Oh my God.
So I crank up the tunes and I'm like, yeah. And I just went
Oh my
straight.
gosh.
And after like an hour of driving, the road stopped. It was
Oh
like
my God.
dead end. So I called my mom in a panic. She's at work. I'm like, Mom, where am I? So I said, where am I?
Wow.
This
no
was like
internet, no cell phone.
1995.
Exactly.
Mom, where am I? She's like, Brian, I don't know. You're on the phone. I'm not with you.
Oh my gosh.
Where? How do I get out of here? So I had to figure out where I was. I'm terrible at directions.
But church though?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Wow. That's concerning.
Hey, I didn't have to know. I was riding along.
Wow. Deborah, Waze will tell you to stop using the keyboard if they sense you're doing it while in motion. Deborah, Waze can reroute you if they see delays ahead. Gives many options. Brian, you need to download Waze.
You know what I do? I got Sarah.
You're not with Sarah all the time, so stop the madness.
I
You need
got
to-
Sarah. Where am I? Where am I?
Well, that's why she got you the Apple phone.
Well, no, like I don't know how many times now. I've been a bunch of times to Summit Christian School in Cuyahoga Falls. I'm on the board at Summit Christian School. Huge honor for me. I don't know how to get there. There's like 8 turns. After 2, I'm done. I have to use Google Maps to get there every time
That's
I go.
bad.
And I've been driving there for months.
That's bad.
I don't know how to get there.
I seriously don't. Like, I remember doing it, but can you, like, remember before GPS? I remember my dad stopping at, like, gas stations. Can you imagine? Guys, imagine Brian stopping at a gas station and asking for directions, and the times where it would be like, and then you turn right, and then you do this and that. What would you have done? Or did you experience
Well, I
that
can
when
tell
they
you.
gave you long directions?
I can tell you even a more melodramatic example of that. One of the biggest fights Sarah and I got in our lives was we were on a trip in Europe.
Uh-huh.
We'd rented a car. It's time to return the car. Okay? You ever rent a car, you know that if you don't return that car with a full tank of gas, they're going to charge you what, like $20 a gallon or something
Yeah,
outrageous
exactly.
like that. And there's something about that part of, I think we were in Frankfurt, Germany, that there was like no gas stations anywhere. And I don't speak German. Look at me. I barely speak English. So we pull into where you return the cars, and I mean, I speak more German than Sarah, which is like, I could just say hello and where's the bathroom,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
or whatever. And so she's like, Brian, we don't know we need to find a gas station. We're not paying this kind of money. I knew she was right. I was like, babe, you're better at directions. Why don't you go talk to him? She goes, Brian, this is Germany. Go talk to him. So I got out of the rental car, park it. I walk up to these 2 German guys, and I'm Mr. International, so I go, Sprechen Sie English? Which is, do you speak English in
Yeah.
German? And the guy was like, And so I go, where's the gas station? The guy starts in broken English giving me directions. But it was the kind of, you ask an older guy for directions. Well, you drive down till you see the rock.
Yes.
And there's a sweeping curve, follow the curve, take a left at the old lady's tree, and like
Yes. Oh, yeah.
after the first turn, I was like, done.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm in Germany.
Yeah.
So I get back in the car, put it in drive, start going, and Sarah's like, so where do we go? I go, I don't know. I don't speak German. He just gave me directions. I don't even know where I go in directions.
So what did you do?
We just drove around until we found a gas
Oh,
station.
my gosh.
Just drove
Yeah, I
around
don't know
until we found a gas
how we did it. I have no idea. One thing before technology that my parents used to do, and oh my gosh. So now we take for granted that when you go somewhere, you could like reserve a hotel, you could do Priceline,
Oh, sure.
all of this stuff. We would go on family trips to New Hampshire. That's 3 hours from Rhode Island with no reservation. And so there were many times that we'd be in the car and he would get off at one hotel and then we'd be waiting like, is there space? Like just that, like now I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you go somewhere 3 hours?
You might not have a place to sleep.
One time there was a big conference of like motorcycle guys in New Hampshire. We went all the way there, 3 hours. Went to a bunch of hotels. Nothing. Everything was packed. We
What'd you
had
do?
to drive back to Rhode Island. Can you believe that? Oh,
Was your
my
dad
God.
upset?
I don't remember that part. But
Why didn't he call? You could have called. Hotel.
that's what I'm saying. That's so Dominican, or so maybe Reyes, because no internet, but just call. No, we'd go, and then oh my gosh, yeah. Lillian just downloaded Waze. Yeah, Lillian, I use it next time to compare it to Google Maps.
Report back to us, Lillian, because I want to know if this is worth my time, because I don't know where I'm going.
Way worth it. Yeah, so Lillian, once you put in the address you're going to, hit the search icon, and you can put in food or coffee spots, and then it will show you the different ones en route and how far they take you out of your route. It's amazing. It's so
What did
awesome.
Belly say? Or Betty say?
Betty said, Brian, my kids did that to me. Drove me crazy. Pay attention to landmarks. My daughter doesn't know what direction she's facing, and she's 38. Some people are just not. Like, I'm wondering if it's just not something you don't have versus getting frustrated with people like that.
Well, but if I took you out in the parking lot here at the station and I said, which way is east, could you do that?
Yeah, I can.
I can too, finally.
I can. No, wherever I'm at, Matt, I can do it.
It took a long time, though, for me.
I'm trying to teach my kids. Now, I don't know how other people do it. Yeah, like, because Len talks about the sun, that's another way. But I'm always mindful
I can't
of,
do
like...
the sun.
No, why
You know how
not?
I do it? I do it. I know that the lake and the city of Cleveland are north.
Yes, good job.
And I know that I-77 runs north-south.
There you go.
480
so
runs
you're good
east-west.
with directions.
So I can, like, picture highways and Cleveland and lake and kind of go, here's what I...
So then you're good with directions.
No.
That's all you need.
No, I figured out a trick to learn which direction I'm facing.
That's how you do it.
Well, I know that, but it doesn't mean I know where I'm, like, how to get from here to there.
Yeah.
I-
So you're not, at least you're not one of those people that when people say go north, they're like, stop, I don't get that.
I can get turned around in a windy country road,
That's good.
but if I can find a landmark, I can figure out which way I'm going.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
it's not that bad.
Mike says, shout out to you two, and Ron, Kelly, Paul, Sarah. Hola, Sarah. Buenos dias. She says, your New Hampshire trip took me back. We often went to a fishing lodge in northern New Hampshire with family for vacation. We always counted the motorcycles. There is some shrine for motorcyclists in New Hampshire. Wow. Your
Oh.
trip made me laugh.
So you would-
New Hampshire. Sarah, do you remember like the mountains there? It's like, there's nothing like that here.
And see, here,
Oh,
when
it's
people
amazing.
hear New Hampshire and Rhode Island, they go, huh, I forgot about those two.
No, what? New Hampshire? Seriously?
I sometimes forget New Hampshire's a state.
It's so awesome. Like my school,
Is it?
the beginning of the year, they would take us to like a camping trip for a week to Bond in middle school. And part of the activities was one day we would climb a mountain. It would take us all day. Like there is no mountain in Ohio that would take you half a day to get to the
See,
top.
but here's my thing. When you grow up in the upper Midwest, I grew up in Minnesota, but people in Ohio too.
Yeah.
And you're learning the map of the United States. When you get over there with like Rhode Island and New Hampshire, there's just a bunch of stuff going on. It's all smashed together,
Amazing.
and there's lines that stick out and put the state names because they can't possibly fit
Oh,
the state
yeah,
name for
yeah.
how small it is.
Yeah.
And so you're over there, you're like, I don't know what's going on over there. I sometimes forget New Hampshire is something.
Oh yeah. Deborah says, so there's Route 71. Route 271 means the going around it for better, easier travel to go around. Works every time.
Oh.
Callie says, safe trip, Janelle. Thank you, Callie. There's going to be good weather in Chicago, so I'm excited because we're doing a lot of walking, and we love walking. And no kids. I'm like making a list of topics we're going to talk about. It's going to be amazing.
Are you that wife? Well, then, we're down for dinner, so let's see. Topic number 1.
What?
What am I thinking right now?
No, you know what though? This is gonna help
I'm
somebody.
teasing you, I know it's
As
good.
a person that I respect gave me that tip recently and said when I have weekly meetings with my husband to walk into it with an agenda. Does that throw you off? Is that crazy?
No, I think it's helpful because sometimes when you Sarah and I've had those times you go to dinner and you go, all right, we're not talking about the kids tonight. And then you look at each other and you go,
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
so anyway, the kids.
Yeah. Oh my
So
goodness.
I think it's actually a really good idea. It's a good idea.
Sarah says, I dreamed of living in New England. Oh, yes, as a child because of the mountains. Oh, instead I moved to the Andes.
What?
Ha.
Wait.
God,
What?
yeah, she's like out there.
The Andes is South America.
She's in Ecuador.
Right now?
Sarah, are you in Ecuador right now?
What?
And Deborah says, odd routes go one way, even go the other, north, south, east, west.
Really?
Yeah, I remember learning that in driver's school. That's super helpful too, especially in new cities. Rod says, on a road trip to San Antonio, we were using Garmin, I remember that one, to
Sure.
navigate driving. We got recalculated so many times due to the stacked layers of interstate roads that we traveled.
Oh, yeah. No, you know, that happens here when you're headed
She said, yeah, she's in Ecuador right now.
right now.
Yeah.
So what, you're not going to invite us over?
No.
I want to go to, I can't, I'm going to say it's so white.
Say it.
Ecuador.
No, say it. Say Ecuador.
Ecuador.
There you go. You did it.
I can see, I can't pull that off. But, no, if you're going, if you got like Google Maps on and you get onto 480 and you're headed east past Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
There's a point where it starts splitting into a couple different highways.
Yeah.
Google Maps has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Have you gotten there? It's like stay in the left lane, but you're supposed to go in the right. If I don't pick up the phone and look at it,
Yeah.
there's like 3 different ways you can go, even though there's 4 in my fingers right now.
Right.
It doesn't have any idea what's happening there.
Mm-hmm. Ron, what is it?
Roll them
R's. Ah, yeah. Sarah says, I'm at home, 8,000 feet above sea level in Cuenca, Ecuador. Come on down, Brian. No, not Brian, Janelle. Or both of us. We can have the show
Wow,
in Ecuador.
how cool is that? We got to look up where that is.
That is super cool.
8,000 feet above sea level. That's so cool that you are in Ecuador.
Another reason to download Waze, Tim says, Brian, Waze knows when you split. So that's Brian's homework for the weekend, guys. Thank you for Hank. He's going to download Waze and report back on Monday. And there's a question before we go, Brian.
Sheila, have you ever been to Pacific Garden Mission in Chicago, Brian Janelle? I know of Pacific Garden Mission. Pacific Garden Mission in Chicago was founded by D.L. Moody.
Oh, yeah?
Here's the crazy part. It's like City Mission. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was back in the day called the Pacific Beer Garden.
Okay.
And so somebody brought D.L. Moody. They're like, hey, we're going to do this here. We're going to open up this thing. It's to help people. What should we call it? He goes, it's Pacific Beer Garden. Pacific Garden Mission. You take beer out, you know. And so that's what they called it.
That's cool.
I haven't actually been to the facility. I've driven past it. I know about it.
Yeah.
Haven't been there. It's a cool place.
Thank you, guys. Deborah, Tim, have a great weekend. Yvonne, Carol, Wilma, Sarah. Sarah says, Janelle, just so you know, I also swore I would never live in Spanish-speaking country except Acapulco or Cancun. My Spanish teacher still laughs at me. Have a great weekend. Bye, Kathy.
All right, you guys.
Oh, yeah, love food, especially seafood in New Hampshire. Thank you, Kathy.
I'll have to remember New Hampshire exists next time.
It's amazing.
Is it?
Amazing.